So continuing in our series of models of the next stage, final stage of the research paper, this is what an outline looks like when it is done for an inquiry paper. Notice it is not the same as what you've probably been asked to do for your other classes in English where you're working from literature-based topics or topics of literary significance. In this case, you're writing an essay based on the research that you did on a topic that you chose and selected, and your outline has to reflect the content, your note cards in other words. So right at the top up here, you begin with a thesis statement. In this case, the topic has to do with Batoche and Louis Riel. So the writer makes a general statement about how this is significant and how it ties to Canada in general. That was a stipulation of the topics that you were given. Notice right below that we have geography and landscape as Roman numeral number 1. That is the first division this time. You don't make a list of divisions like you would for a literature-based paper. And I only have 3 things that I found information on under geography and landscape. So I'm going to talk about the Saskatchewan River, the bluffs in the boreal forest, and then where you would find this place on a map today. I don't have to clarify that with details and little examples and things because my content will support that with what I have on my note cards. My second division topic is Louis Riel, and I'm going to just address his leadership of the Métis people as it applies to my topic. There are many other things about this man that you could include under here if you had more time, if your topic was more extensive, but because I'm only looking at a certain area, I have 1 major subtopic and 4 things under that. That means that I have note cards that have information about each of these 4 things. If I only had 2 things, I would only put the first 2. Unlike a literature-based paper where you must have an A, a B, and a C with 2 details or supporting examples for each subtopic, this outline is created based on what you had for content. Roman numeral number 3, I'm looking at the battle now, and so I cover 4 main topics there. My results I had to break down because just results by itself is too long, too broad. There are results of this battle yet today. So I'm just looking at what I found information on. Number of deaths, the broken trust between the government and the Métis people, and then the arrests that were carried out. My 4th division topic or big area from my content is the commemoration of this particular battle, this place, this town. Louis Riel, who goes from a fugitive to a hero, the support from the federal government and the Métis Nation today and what they're doing to commemorate that. So again, I'm not putting a bunch of supporting details and proofs down here. My content from my note cards will speak for that. Finally, the buildings in the interpretive center, these are things that were erected as a result of the Battle of Batoche and the fallout from the government and the Métis people following that. I'm going to talk about only 2 buildings, the church and the theater. And I'm going to talk about how the theater is where the interpretive part comes from, and maybe a little bit about how they continue to educate students today by taking them on trips and exposing them to what goes on here. When you get to the conclusion, you simply put a Roman numeral, whatever your last one is, with the word conclusion beside. You don't have to put any subheadings under there like restate thesis and anything. That's for a literature-based paper. This is not literature-based, it is research-based.